Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 6th to the 12th of May 2019. We begin the week with the new moon in Taurus, and this is once a year. We get an opportunity to really dive into the energies of Taurus. So a new moon is when the sun and the moon are together, bringing double fresh energy. It's a great time to set intentions unless there's a major retrograde going on, and I feel that the intentions here are for happy home, financial abundance and presence. These are three of the key aspects of Taurus, especially on the earth plane. So Taurus loves to live from the heart, earthly beauty, friendship, good times and nature. So to have a heartfelt presence, to practice coming from that place, does mean that we need to keep our minds in check. Now, our minds often look back to the past and project difficulties and fears into the future. The mind rarely lives in the present moment unless we actually give it a job to do. So it's not a healthy way to live, but it is one that's taught very strongly. And in order to get over that, we need to at least stop a couple of times a day, if not more, and actually consider what is now. How do we feel? What are we creating? What are we producing in the now moment? So very much this week, a workshop on being more in the heart and then giving the mind a job to do, to keep it in the present as well. Lots of earthly energy this week, which is very stable and structured. But on Monday we have Mars opposite Jupiter. And the clarion call here is to raise our spiritual frequency. So when we live in the moment, we're aware of what our heart is transmitting. We're aware of our emotional state, therefore what we're creating. And with all this earthly energy around, it's easy to get trapped in the mundane. But Mars and Jupiter on Monday ask us to realise that we're more than ourselves on the earthly plane. We can stop and view our lives from the soul perspective and raise that frequency and then amplify it. So a great working there with Mars in Gemini, Jupiter in Sagittarius, to rise up and realise that we're not just on the earth plane, we exist on many other levels as well. And from the soul's perspective, one of the gifts of being a soul astrologer is to be able to see life constantly from a multi-lifetime perspective, so we don't get trapped into that where am I now, comparing ourselves to other people, human linear age dynamics. I'm this old and therefore I should have done that, or that person's got that. Can rise up above that, because it's what we're being now that matters, and what we came here to be that matters even more. So purity for the heart there, wonderful workshop in wisdom, amplification and power. By Tuesday, Mercury moves into Taurus, and on Wednesday meets with Uranus. So Mercury is the processing mind, and it's an octave away, it's 8 planets away from Uranus, which is the higher mind, which is the visionary. So as these two get ready to meet on Tuesday and on Wednesday, it's about expanding the mind. So we've talked about thinking from the heart first and the head second. That's very much a workshop for the whole week, if not the whole month. But now we can focus on the mind. What are we thinking? Is it repeat? Is it habitual? Is it outdated? Is it limiting? Are your minds driving you crazy? Do you even capture the narrative? Because you're possibly repeating the same thought to yourself time and time again. So a chance for radical, shocking breakthrough realizations on Wednesday, where everything can change in an instant if you're able to embrace change. And these current energies are very much about perspective and embracing change, to let go of outdated ways of thinking and believing, and to actually let go long enough that we can dive into the potential of other ways of being. So I feel that by Wednesday, hanging on to old ways of thinking will be very difficult, if not exhausting and futile, and may push us to the limit where we have to think differently and we have to expand our minds. So we may work out our bodies, but how often do you work out your mind? How flexible are you in your thinking and your perspective? This will all be happily challenged on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then by Thursday the pace slows down. We're really in the Taurian new moon energies here, so just take a breath, focus on pleasure. What does it feel like in the current moment? Can we prioritise that rather than worrying and having to do? Really immerse ourselves in the garden that is Taurus. This pause actually allows changes to happen. So by Friday I feel that new pathways are opening up and new choices will go with that lead us to different places. So when we follow our true frequency and we centre on that, we can see where that leads. This does initially take a lack of attachment to a particular outcome, but once we start almost immediately seeing the benefits of coming from that place, then we'll enjoy the journey so much that we can make that normal behaviour. Because by Saturday, Sunday and into next week we have some very strong energies with the Sun meeting Saturn and Pluto. So the Sun is in Taurus, Saturn and Pluto are in Capricorn, both retrograde, and there's a restructure going on. There's a restructure towards greater equality, greater stability. But because we've got used to living in such an unfair world, such an insecure world for so long, can we even recognise that that's possible? We need to make the first step in our imagination. So what changes would you like to see to feel more equal, more stable, more nurtured, more supported? And then can you even imagine what it's like to live as a sovereign being? So all told, a really super-powered week. We can take all of this earthly energy, focus it and centre it in the heart. Keep our mind busy with the job of expansion, changing perception, imagining, and bringing into reality the changes that we want to see. And also practice rising above the mundane level and actually start to live from a soul-focused perspective as well. So it's time to embrace the new moon in Taurus, to set some new intentions, to raise up our energy, and to actually work with our own body system, our own energy system, our own mind, to raise up our frequency to a spiritual level, amplify, and then follow the call from there. In order to help you do this, I have created a very holistic empowerment program based on your unique astrological chart to see where we can work on the physical, mental, emotional and spiritual levels, to find our soul frequency, to become it, to live it, and to see those changes happen on every level. I offer free phone consultancy for this, so if you are interested in working on every level and making the most of yourself, then we can arrange a call to discuss. And this involves everything from designing a workout for the home or going to the gym, to clearing the mind, deconditioning the heart, which is a big deal with Uranus in Taurus for the next 7 years, and then learning to come from the spiritual plane first. So an incredibly holistic system available there based on your astrology. I'm also available for one-to-one astrology readings, as always, in person and online. So please do contact me, zoehines7@gmail.com, for any of that. Events this week, I have Practical Magik Club on Tuesdays, been moved to the Tuesday because of the holiday, and we're going to be looking at psychic protection and the energy body. This is a fascinating and very empowering study, and there's only a few places available. So that's 7 till 9 on Tuesday for Practical Magik Club, psychic protection and working with the energy body. I'm going to be recording some of my workshops now, which will be available as an MP3, as I've decided to create an online university as well as the one that I run from home. So please do let me know if you're interested in this or any of the other subjects that are on my workshop page, because I intend to spend the summer making some recordings and putting those in my shop to make them available worldwide. Then the following Tuesday, the 14th, we have a regroup of our very friendly and warm and expansive tarot club, where we use different decks and look at different spreads and explore different areas while learning the sacred art of tarot as well. So I post daily on Facebook, AstroZo, Instagram, zoehines7, my website, astrozo.com, and you're very welcome to contact me to discuss any of this. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.